sidewalk and around the hearse with their flags until the family and the soldier was put in the hearse. And they got back on their bikes, and as they were leaving, I asked one of them, I said, what do you guys do, and why do you do it? I'll finish that later. Anyway, at the cemetery, they surrounded the whole cemetery with red, white, and blue. I was so impressed of what I saw and what they were doing it for. I went home that night and told my wife, I'm going to go buy a motorcycle, it's got to be a Harley, and join the Patriot Guard. And that's exactly what I did. As you can see, the Patriot Guard is here today, doing what they do. Stand a flag line with the red, white, and blue to show honor, dignity, and respect to Steve, family, friends, and all veterans, deceased and present, to remind people to never forget their heroes. They come from all over the state, and I know there's some here today from other states also. This all came about because I'm a very active member in the Patriot Guard. I go on 2 to 3 missions a week usually, up to, it doesn't matter. I've gone to funerals for World War I, World War II, Korean, Vietnam, Desert Storm, Iraq, the present, National Guard send-offs, homecomings, escorts, and other things. And these are a few of the funerals that made me start thinking about this. These are remains that have been found, and over the years through the new DNA system, they finally figured out who they belong to. And these are, I've got some dates here which are important to me. Anyway, World War II, Kenneth Pohl, December 7th, 1941, sunk with the USS Oklahoma. It was the first ship to go down 6 minutes after the bombing started. He was laid to rest on July 30th, 2008 in Clarkfield, 60 years later. And his family that he had left, you can't believe how overwhelmed they were that he finally came home. The next one I went to was a Korean. Sergeant Ralph Carlson was killed on January 22nd, 1951, laid to rest June 15th, 2011 in Bram, Minnesota. That's 60 years ago. The next one is out of Vietnam. I know a lot of these guys back here will remember this one for sure. It's Captain Daryl Spindler, June 21st, 1967, laid to rest June 18th, 2011. Browns Valley, Minnesota, 44 years ago. Another one from Vietnam. Specialist 5, Donald Brella, December 28, 1965, laid to rest October 2nd, 2009. This was in Laurel, Nebraska. So some of us travel quite a ways because our brothers coming home mean a lot to us. After looking into Steve's life, I found a lot of dates that we are very close together on, which I never knew. We graduated from Morton High School in May of 1967. I was born July 15th, 1949 in Springfield. Steve was born July 19th, 1949 in Sleepy Eye. I went to Vietnam January of 90. I think we better go back about 20 years. About 1970. Steve went in August of 1970. I was wounded on April 23rd of 70. I was discharged from the Army February 19th, 1971. Steve lost his life February 23rd, 1971. 4 days after I was discharged. The more I've thought about all of this, it's maybe one of the reasons why I was meant to be standing here today doing this. We'll never know, but it's happening. I don't know, it's around 5 years ago when the state of Minnesota welcomed home the Vietnam veterans, which I went down there and I sat and I listened to all the missing in action from Minnesota, and then they gave all the KIA from Minnesota. And I couldn't believe we lost the people around here we did, because I had no idea until I heard the names that day. I picked a few from around here. Some of you might remember who they were, and maybe you don't. Anyway, from Bellevue, we got PFC Brad Mace and also PFC Leland Welch. Out of Fairfax, I probably should have put the years in here and I didn't. I didn't think you wanted to sit here all day. But anyway, from Fairfax, you got Lance Corporal Donald Liebel, from Morton, Stephen Goelz, Rugged Falls, Colonel William Cook, and PFC Robert Jones. From Springfield, you got Second Lieutenant Alan Kettner, and Spec 4 Larry Krebs, and PFC Lauren Schmitz. Wabasso, Major Thomas McCarthy, and Spec 4 Gary, I have no idea how you pronounce the last name. It's Ruckenshell or something like that. Okay, at this time I was going to do the unveiling, but I'm going to finish my program here, and the firing squad will be the last thing we do. I want to keep you guys in the shade because it's all sun over there, and that's why I moved it over here. I was going to do it there. I don't like the sun, and I don't think you do either. So anyway, I will skip this part at this time. I'm going to go into the thank yous. I would like to thank Glenn Good Thunder, who is standing over there. He's the one that brought this flag. It's the flag from the Indian Hill up here. He's an Indian. He did the drawing that's on the memorial. It's a beautiful drawing. You won't believe what you see. He's a Vietnam veteran who served 2 tours in Vietnam. He said it was a great honor to be asked to do this for a fallen brother. And I would like to thank Glenn Good Thunder and Brandon Moody, my grandson, which has been in the National Guard now about a year. They will be doing the unveiling and folding of the flag. I would like to thank the Honor Guard here today, which I got one big surprise. 4 of them from Redwood Falls showed up to march in the parade, which I want to thank them very much for that. And Jim's going to run the Honor Guard today, which that was another job I had, which I got rid of. I'd like to thank them not only for today,